Welcome back, Wolfpack Verlis here, and I haven't put so much time into a Pokemon after the fact as I have with Hitmontop. That there were quite a few unhappy people with the Hitmontop strategy, so just kind of wanted to go through and just really look it over, make sure I didn't miss anything, because in my video, I feel a lot of my decisions to leave things out and put things in were rather justified, and the biggest ones were the, full Technician priority Hitmontop. Why didn't I put that in? Well, in my video, I kind of quickly say, you have Scizor, that Technician with the stab bullet punch is just going to be stronger, higher attack, and Scizor has a lot of tankiness to it as well, so I didn't feel that Hitmontop was kind of a Pokemon you want to do with that. Well, if we look at it from the same aspect, just Adamant Nature, max out the attack, go with Hit Point Life Orb investment, you actually have a fairly threatening Pokemon. Now here's the thing, if Hitmontop hits its super, it's going to go away. Fake out into a Super Mach Punch, or a, not Close Combat, this is supposed to be Bullet Punch. Fake out into a Super Mach Punch or Super Bullet Punch is going to have a very, very high chance of KOing, especially if it's Mach Punch. If it's Mach Punch, you can find some neutral KOs like that, and especially on the Supers, it's the ultimate check Pokemon. The Hitmontop can come in and check a lot of things. Now, if it's in the late game where Pokemon are weakened, or that there's Stealth Rocks up and there's been quite a bit of Stealth Rock burn over time, Hitmontop is going to excel in this situation very well. Now, it's pretty much just off of super effectives, though, that a lot of neutral hit matchups aren't really good for Hitmontop, that it itself is pretty vulnerable, but at the same time, it just comes in, it cleans up a KO, it gets extra damage on Mach Punch and Bullet Punch. So if you're looking for a +1 Pokemon, Hitmontop's actually a very good option that I didn't really give a second look, even though it deserves it. Now, another thing that hurts Hitmontop is Sucker Punch, that it does get access to Sucker Punch, but not 6th gen legal. And what I mean by that is you cannot get Sucker Punch in the 6th gen. That is a 4th generation move tutor from that Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum kind of thing. So there's Sucker Punch right there. So if you want to use it in official 6th gen competitive play, you can't. And if you want to use it without hacking it, you have to go back to 4th generation get it. So it's a fairly difficult Pokemon to get a very strong Hitmontop. As you can see here, I was also running a lot of calculations on stuff. The Kangaskhan matchup is really interesting because you're not going to be running close combat, but more about that in a bit. So Sucker Punch is technically legal, but very difficult to obtain, and even then, without it, it's very bad. But with Sucker Punch, now you're getting a lot of coverage against Ghost-type Pokemon. Sucker Punch with Life Orb is just going to one-shot a Gengar, and that's really powerful. So against Ghost-type Pokemon, against Psychic-type Pokemon, that Sucker Punch adds a lot. Also, the extra damage, fake out into a Mach Punch into a Sucker Punch or something to try to out-prioritize them. You might actually find something really powerful. At the same time, it has very specific play. However, if you build a team around it, if you actually really go into this as one of your core strategies, Hitmontop can probably be far more rewarding than I thought, than anyone has ever really thought before. So it might be worth a try just because of that extra tankiness. Now, people have mentioned Assault Vest on this. I'm not buying it. I don't think Assault Vest is going to be strong enough. You need the Life Orb. Without Life Orb, this Hitmontop isn't going to do anything. That's what pretty much my calculations have shown. Also, I was bringing up the Pokemon type coverage. Sorry for it being offset, I'm just kind of using the same layout that I have. But if we look, say Fighting Steel, that's going to have quite a few not very effectives, quite a few super effectives, but a lot of normals. And we don't want neutral hits, we want supers. So when we add Dark to the equation, no not very effective hits, so we can hit everything relatively safely. Well, also if we technically include normal for the fake out. But anyway, we're looking really strong on these supers now, but it's always going to be off that Sucker Punch, which can be played around, but it still is very powerful if you get it going. And then there's a couple of other things, so damage calculations. The Mega Kangaskhan matchup, really weird. So let's put no move because we don't have close combat in this situation, but technically you can use close combat to check a Kangaskhan really easily. So say you use it to check Kangaskhan, you come in, you fake out, you Mach Punch, not going to very, very rare chance that you're going to be able to two-shot this thing just from that. And then, the return isn't enough damage, but then it can Sucker Punch retaliate you. So you don't win that check matchup, but you still get heavy damage onto a Mega Kangaskhan. So if it's already taken, rocks or something, you're going to be able to actually check it really well. And the same for a lot of Pokemon. If we look at Mega Lopunny, just, normal type or Pokemon that are super effective by it. So Mega Lopunny, you come in, fake out, Mach Punch. If it's already burned its fake out, you use it as a check, fake out Mach Punch, that's a 2-hit KO. So it just shows if you have that super effective hit, you can find a lot of 2-hit KOs. Greninja, Mach Punch just straight up 1-hit KOs it. So if they're down to just Greninja, you'll be able to find something there. Or if you try to make some outplays, there is a lot of potential on this priority set but it does need, it's not invincible. It's not this unstoppable force, so it needs to be played with care, but it can be very rewarding. The other things that people were talking about. What about Hitmontop as a rapid spin Pokemon? It's like the spinning Pokemon. Why didn't I recommend it as a rapid spinner? I just feel that there's better rapid spinners in the game, that people were also talking about, like Foresight Rapid Spin, that it can't be spin walled, so it's so good. I feel that that takes way too much setup, that if you're doing one turn for Foresight, unless you actually predict them switching in a Ghost type Pokemon, which is super risky, then you get the Rapid Spin, you know, it just takes a lot of setup. You're still a slow Pokemon, so you might take too much punish, and it's like you're sacrificing a Pokemon to not get too much else done for the Rapid Spin. And then I was wondering, okay, where did this silly idea come up? Oh, okay, now it makes sense. So pretty much it was just kind of like using it as an anti-lead, that you can have close combat damage or Mach Punch damage or something, and then Rapid Spin into things. And I just don't like the Foresight idea. It's pretty dumb. There's a lot of other Rapid Spin Pokemon that can Toxic Stall. The Intimidate is nice, like you bring it in, you reduce some power, and then you Rapid Spin. But I just feel that you could bring a better Pokemon in a lot of situations, and that's why I just wanted, like, when I saw something like this, I just wanted to make my guide a doubles guide for the Hitmontop, because that's where it excels the most, but the priority does kind of change that around, so it just kind of shows the idea. Then I was looking, okay, Foresight, how many people have to actually use this? So I went to Sweeper Calc, I looked up the stats of how many people use Hitmontop, and it's 0.38%, so 0.4% of people use Hitmontop. Pretty low usage if you ask me. And then if we actually look at that, well, not everyone even uses them as a rapid spinner. That if we see right here, 83% on rapid spin. And then if we go all the way down here, 4% of people are actually using it for Foresight. So that is such an unused strategy. It's such an obscure strategy that it's really not that effective. So I wanted to leave it out. And I think the last thing to address with Hitmontop was Brick Break on doubles. I guess you can do Brick Break on doubles. There's really no drawback to it. If you want to make Hitmontop a pure support, no damage kind of Pokemon, Brick Break is going to be good for shredding Light Screen Reflect. You see that from time to time. It could be a nice little technique. Didn't really mention it because I was just kind of like focused on, you know, use that close combat for the high damage, be some kind of screen dude. But if you want to break protect, you want to break screens, Hitmontop is actually good at that. You're just going to be sacrificing a lot of damage, and you're putting yourself in like just a very low damage situation. And unless you're running, like unless you're already anticipating that with a double guard kind of setup, like a wide guard, quick guard setup, I didn't think that it was going to be too powerful. But if you really feel that's necessary, you can definitely run that. And there are still more things that I apparently forgot to cover, like Triple Kick. Triple Kick is really interesting because it goes 10, 20, 30 in base power, and then with Technician and Stab, it's supposed to go to like 135 base power or something. So pretty much with Technician, it reaches like a 90 base power. Well, here's the thing. A lot of moves outclass that, like Low Kick. Low Kick, if it has, let's say it's hitting in a tier between 60, which is going to be a lot of them, and 100 or something, it's doing anywhere from 80 damage before Stab, and then a lot more. If it hits that 60, then it's doing 90, and that's with 100 accuracy, which is really good. Also, we have Rolling Kick. Rolling Kick is controversially going to be better. It still has 85 accuracy, but the odds of landing 3 triple kicks is less than 80 accuracy. So pretty much to get the same damage with better accuracy, it's just going to be Rolling Kick. Now, Triple Kick can be argued that it like breaks sashes and multiple hits are beneficial and stuff, but it also brings a chance to flinch if you're somehow faster. So overall, over Triple Kick, there's just better damage options, or at least more reliable damage options. That's if you're not bringing close combat already, or High Jump Kick even, for higher damage, little more risk, and still better accuracy. So it's just a weird thing to have to play with all these. Also, I forgot to mention that if you're not running Sucker Punch, you can also have Bulldoze. Bulldoze adds to coverage, gets boosted by Technician, slows them down, might make you faster than them, and then you can pick them off with something. Even though Bulldoze in the priority doesn't really make too much sense, it's at least a Technician boosted thing that if you can't use Sucker Punch, it might work out. Because I feel that having Quick Attack with Fake Out isn't good, and ground coverage is always good. So you might be able to find out something to put here, or that's where you put your High Jump Kick and your close combats. So that's my relook on Hitmontop. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, it's like, I feel I'm still justified in the decisions I made, but I feel that I did overlook a couple things that can be cleared up a little better with this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a nice day. Well, a lot of you guys can have a nice day now, because you're not all upset about Hitmontop not being justly reviewed.